Hi, Kate from Whutsy here, and in today's video tutorial, I'm going to talk to you all about Card. And what is Card? It's a simple, free, fully responsive, one-page website for pretty much anything, and I love that sentence because that's exactly what it is. Now, if you haven't watched any of my videos before, I'd go very slow, very methodical, take our time. I do everything with you step by step. So I know a lot of people maybe don't like that style of video. I've got all the chapters of everything I'm going to discuss in the description below. But for someone who's looking to build a card website or learn more about it, you can build along with me, and we're going to learn tons of stuff today. And it's not even just about card. We're going to really develop our website as affordable as possible and as an e-commerce model, which is so cool. So what I want to do first is direct you to my website, www.whutsy.com. That's spelled WHUTSY.com/card, spell CARRD. And that's going to be the page that's going to have every link, every resource, everything I talk about in this video. I'm also going to have every link and everything in the description below, but you can go ahead to the website. The video's embedded there as well. You can bookmark that page and come back and reference it anytime, or save this video, of course, in your YouTube playlist or wherever you want to save it so you can come back. This video is going to be pretty long, pretty involved, lots of stuff we're going to discuss. So if you're looking to really boost your knowledge on building a mini e-commerce website that's actually really affordable with a very low investment to start with, then you're going to be really interested in what I have to say. So first, I'm just going to talk about what I'm going to go over in this video, and I'm going to have everything broken up into chapters below. So if you want to skip ahead or follow along some parts or come back to other parts and watch again, everything's going to be outlined below in the description. So what I'm going to talk about first is we're going to go over the card plans. What's included, how much do they cost, what do you really need for what you want to build. And actually, I'm going to go back to the beginning here of my presentation because this is going to make more sense when I start at the beginning. So we're going to build a card website. And what I'm trying to do is I had to come up with some sort of theme, some sort of purpose for this website. And yeah, I could just build a link tree or whatever for a social media account or a simple portfolio site. But I think that's kind of basic. And I think anybody with a little bit of knowledge of the internet and a little bit of savvy could probably figure out how to build that on their own. We're going to take it up a notch, and I'm going to build a holiday themed pop-up shop. And what is that? Well, it's just going to be basically a single product store that you can develop into having one product or multiple products, and just as a kind of basic template to say, okay, I want to start selling things online in the most simple way possible. Another way you could explain this is like, I want to put out a limited edition drop of products or something like that. And I just want to have a website that I can put up and take down in an easy, quick, short amount of time and not cost a lot of money and not have to pay someone to do it for me. Or if you're an influencer, YouTuber, blogger, anyone online in the online space, and you want to sell your own merch, but you're finding it really complicated to figure it out with your own website platform or building a store from scratch or whatever, this might be a solution for you. Also, I have a lot of audience of mine that's Etsy. That's basically where the space I kind of talk about most is for Etsy shops and Etsy sellers. And I thought this would be a great idea is if you have a bestseller on Etsy, why not create its own website and stop paying those Etsy fees? Promote it on social media and get people to buy that best-selling item, not on Etsy. And it's a popular item, people like it, so you could probably do that fairly easily instead of creating a complete online store with hundreds of products, which will take an incredible amount of time. just another idea of how you could use the card websites. Also, you can take away what you want from this video and just make a link in bio page for all your social media so they all link to this website, and everyone can find what you need there. And then if you decide you want to sell some products in that website, you can with what I'm going to show you here. Okay. And so I talked about we're going to go over the card plans. We're also going to build from a template that I've created. Card has tons of templates and they're all awesome and cool. I made one that's my own kind of style that you can totally tweak to look however you want. But I built it so I could show off the most commonly used features in card that you will want to use. And so I can explain those. And then from there, you can kind of go on and build the site and change it to whatever you want it to look like. Or you can build from one of their existing templates or build from scratch. Their tools for their website are very powerful and very cool. We're going to talk about color schemes, which is like one of these things that you probably don't think about very often in general, but when you're building a website, having a color palette, a color scheme is really important. So I'm going to talk about how we do that and how we can just make it as easy in the workflow as working with colors as easy as possible. I'm also going to talk about how we're going to turn this page into an e-commerce site, and that's by creating a Shopify Lite account and using buy buttons. Shopify Lite is their lowest tier, very affordable plan that if you're on Shopify, it's kind of hard to find. They don't make it easy to sign up for that plan. So I'm going to walk you through all that. Then we're going to create a product with print on demand using Printful as our print on demand provider so that we can create a design, create a product, connect it to our Shopify Lite account, and then put that into our card website so people can go to our card website, buy the product, and then the product will automatically be fulfilled and produced by Printful. We don't have to touch anything. All we have to do is pay for that raw product when one sells, and then Printful makes it and ships it directly to the customer. The next thing I'm going to also talk about while we're working in Printful is I'm actually going to design the product. We're going to do that together so you can learn how I do that and how I create a product in Printful. Then from there, we're going to create a video mock-up of the image. Yeah, I'm going to create a video without actually recording a video so that when you see the template, you'll see what I'm talking about. We want to create a video background for this template, and I'm going to show you how easy that is. And then I'm going to show you how to integrate email so that you can start collecting email addresses and start building your audience that way as well. Because we all know that all these platforms that we rely on, be it Etsy, be it social media, YouTube, or wherever, the chance of possibly losing touch with our audience is always a possibility. So we want to collect their emails so we have them and we can always access them. So I'm going to show you how to do that with a card website. And then lastly, I'm going to show you how to connect a actual domain URL to your card website. So you can use whateveryouwant.com and have that go directly to this website we're going to build. So we're going to cover tons of stuff, loads of information, and I'm super excited to do this with you. So I wanted to show you first, this is the template of the website I made. Now I'm going with a holiday theme for Christmas because I love the idea of like a pop-up Christmas shop where people can buy a gift really quick, really fast, and check out and be done with it and not have to worry about searching and browsing through thousands of items on an e-commerce website. So this is the theme I picked, and this is the template I made. It has a video background that makes it really kind of cool and interactive. I've created a countdown timer so that we know how many days until Christmas is there with a sense of urgency, and then also that people actually search for how many days until Christmas on Google. So people are looking for that information. And then I just came up with this idea for making an unofficial holiday mug. And then I put in a email list so I can collect the emails of people who visit this website, and they're going to get a coupon code for signing up. And then I'm going to be sending them emails weekly as it approaches Christmas by telling them how many days till Christmas, and then also telling them that they need to buy the mug that's on my page. And you'll see there's no product on this page yet because I haven't made it yet, but there's a place where I'm going to paste the code that I'm going to get from Shopify here. And then also on this demo is all the links to everything we're going to talk about today. So the link to this template demo page is in the description below the video. If you want to go there, you can check this out, see what you think of it. It's a little bit more interactive than what shows on the screen here. There's color changing when I hover. The buttons all work and go places. So you can check this out, and all the links you'll need to follow along in the video will be at the bottom of this, the template as well. All right, so if you are on the Whutsy page for Card, or if you're watching this video on YouTube, you'll find the link to card.co that will take you to the starting point. And what you want to do very first thing is create an account. And you just do that by logging in or signing up like you would on any website. Once you do that, you are given a 7-day trial of their Pro account. So let's talk about the different account levels. The very basic account, called Basic, it's kind of hard to find the information on their website. They kind of hide it away, but I found it and I took a screenshot of it. So that's what we're looking at here. So they have an absolutely free level. So this is what you get with the free level. Okay. No, you don't have to pay anything. You just sign up for it. Okay. You get 3 websites. That, first of all, it's like, wait, what? I get 3 websites. Yeah. You get 3 websites. Now, there's a little bit of a catch with those. They come with a blank.card.co URL. So you can see it's spelled CARRD.co. That's not optimal, right? Giving that website address to somebody and hoping that they type it in correctly, probably not the best. But if you're using it for just a link in bio link, I think that doesn't really matter because people will just be clicking on it and going through, and it maybe isn't as necessary. So if that's what you want to use that for, then I think, the basic for a lot of us will be really good. Okay. But there's a few other things that you get or don't get because it's free, right? There is the card branding in the footer at the very bottom of the web page. So it'll say that it's made with Card. There's a standard quality of images and backgrounds. So you're not going to get that super crisp, high definition quality. It'll still be good quality though. I wouldn't discount this. For most people, especially these websites you're using them for social media websites, link in bio, if you will, people are looking on their phone or device for the most part. So standard quality is more than good enough for most devices. If you have a large audience that's coming through on a desktop computer or retina screens or things, you may start to see a difference there in the quality. But I think in most cases, that isn't as much of a priority. Excluding if maybe you're a photographer or say a videographer where the quality of your content is a priority. So that's something to think about there. And then we have the image size that we're limited to is 2 megabytes for images, just regular PNG or JPEG images. That's very good. GIFs, we're getting a little bit iffy there. If you like to use GIFs a lot, staying under 2 megabytes may be difficult. And videos, 4 megabytes, that's a pretty short video. That's kind of just like a little loop, short couple second video. So that's just something to keep in mind if you think you want to have a video content or GIFs on your card website. And then you're limited to 50 elements. So what do they mean by that? They mean like If you adding a text block, if you're adding an image block, if you're adding a link, a button that goes somewhere. Each one of those things is going to be one element. 50 elements, that's more than enough if you're going to have a link, a button place that you're directing people from your bios, where you're adding in content there for directing them to, your freebies, your YouTube channel, or wherever you're directing people. 50 is probably pretty good. If you're thinking about expanding and having maybe a mini blog or mini status updates or photo galleries, or adding products like we're going to do today, that might become more of an issue. But just starting out, for some people, this free may be all you need. Let's talk about what's in the paid plans. Now, all the paid plans, and this is what I love about Card, are affordable. We love free, but we also really like affordable. So the Pro Lite plan is $9 a year. Find another place that has websites for $9 a year. And I'm telling you, they offer a lot of great things that are included in this very affordable plan. I mean, that's less than $1 a month. Gotta love it. So what's included and what's not included in the Lite plan? Well, we still have 3 sites. It's the same as the basic, which is still really awesome. Premium URLs. So you're going to still have the crd.co URL. So whatever you want, .crd.co. So that's a little bit easier for someone to figure out and type into an address bar. And then they also have punny code URLs, which is a twist on that. So it's still going to be something a little different than the .com or the .co or the .io or whatever that we're used to seeing and a lot of people are familiar with. So if that's important to you to have that .com, you're going to have to already upgrade to the next plan. They remove the branding at the bottom, high quality images, and then you're allowed to have images and GIFs up to 16 megabytes and videos up to 32. So that's still a low short video. That's still quite a short video, probably under, 20 seconds or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it's still a short form video, that's probably enough for our background video that we're going to create to match the template. I'm trying to think how long this video was. I think this was under 40 megabytes, this one I made, and this one was about 15 seconds. So you can definitely work with that if you're doing short form videos. Now, no element limit. So we were limited to 50 elements on the free plan. Here, there's no limits. You can put as much content on the websites as you want. Pro templates. So they have special templates in Card that are marked as pro. So you have to be have a paid membership to get access to those templates. You can also build your own custom templates, which is exactly what I've done here. This is a custom template I've built so I could share with you guys. You can do video uploads throughout the site. You can do slideshows as backgrounds or standalone elements. You can use custom icons in the address bar. So looking at my screen here, these little icons that are at the top of my tabs, that's what they're talking about, favicons. So you can put a custom one in here on your website. You can show custom images when sharing your sites on social media, meaning if you share a link, like you share your website on Facebook or something, when it pops up that little preview, you can include a custom image in there for your preview on social media, or like on Twitter, there's like a preview image if you share a link. That's what they're talking about there. Site transfers, you can transfer to other Card users. So if you are a website developer and you want to master Card, you can now sell that service to people who want to build these one-page websites but just don't have the time. And you can share access to your sites to other card users. So other people have accounts, you can share access. The Pro Standard is the mid-tier plan, $19 a year, so a little over $1 a month. Still wonderful. Now you can do up to 10 sites. You can now have a custom domain URL. So you purchase yourbusinessname.com. Now you can have that point to your card website. No brandings, all the same stuff as the above, pro templates, and everything else. You can transfer your ownership to other card users like before. And now what you get with this, what did they call it? The Pro Standard that you don't get with the others, forms. So now you can start collecting emails. So this is what I would recommend as the minimum tier for most people, because again, like I said, collecting emails is a very important part of growing as either a content creator, creative person, a business, small business, Etsy shop, whatever. Very important to have a email collection form on your website. And that's a great way to just slowly build your audience over time. They integrate with all kinds of programs for your sign-up forms. I'm going to show you how to use Email Octopus. I really like the features they have, and you'll see the link is below in the description for that if you're curious about that. But you can use any of these. It's basically going to be the same sort of setup that I'm going to walk through. You can embed third-party widgets. So we're talking about Stripe, PayPal, Gumroad, Typeform, and Facebook. So that's also including embeds, your own code. So now this is where we are putting in our own code for the buy buttons. So this is the minimum plan if you want to embed buy buttons. Okay, Google Analytics, which is great, so you can track the traffic that's going to your website, find out where it's coming from, what they're doing on the website, the demographics, etc. And you can add custom meta tags to each of your sites, which is very important for SEO. So this plan, the Pro, I can't remember the name, Pro Standard plan, I think is the lowest tier plan for anyone, for most people, if they want to actually collect email addresses and they want to possibly embed products. Now you don't have to start with this. You can start with the free, and then as you need the features, you can upgrade. But from what we're talking about today, everything, you will need at least the standard plan. The Pro Plus now is $49 a year, so a little over $2 a month. No, a little over $4 a month, excuse me, right? $4 a month. You can have up to 25 sites on a single account, all the same stuff as the previous account. And what's included in the top level Pro plan, well, you can do redirects if you want to, if you're moving from, so, okay, when would you want to use this? This would be if you have a website currently somewhere else and you want to move it to card. Those pages on your website, you want to point those to pages. You don't want them to just go vanish into outer space, because Google is probably, as we speak, ranking your website and crawling your website. And if a page just vanishes, it's not a good thing. So that's what this is talking about. Password protection. So if you want to have part of your website accessible through a password only, you can do that. Variables as far as advanced coding. And you can customize your site files. So if you want to add in ads.txt, which has to do with Google AdSense, if you want to put in and monetize your site with Google Ads, you'll need to have this this plan. They have an update frequency of the website to improve the site performance. Advanced settings, custom styles, JavaScript, and you can also download your site. So if you want to have a backup of it on your computer or just for, safe keeping. That's the bonus of the other plan. So if that's affordable for you and there's some features there that you want to get, you can certainly sign up for the Pro Plus plan. But like I said, I think most people will be fitting into the Pro Standard for the features that I'm going to be talking about in this video. And a lot of people will still be able to use Pro Lite or even the free plan. Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to log into my account. Okay, so once you've created your account using the link in the description, you will get a free trial of the Pro. And then you will want to follow along, use my template. Now you're welcome to use any template that you want, but what I'm going to use is the template I've created, and then you can go from there and tweak it to however you want and how it's going to look like. So if you go to the link in the description, all you have to do is click that link for the template, and that'll take you to this page. Now you can see it looks a little different than it does on my page in the demo. And that's because there's a few things that aren't pulled into the template. And one of the things is the video in the template. But that's okay. So I just want to show you around in here. We're just going to go over some of the basic things. The overall deal with Card is you just click where you want to edit. So we're in the edit mode, and to tell that you're in the edit mode, there is this bar across the top right, which has a bunch of icons. The plus is to add an element. So if we want to add a text box, if we want to add buttons, if we want to add anything, pictures, whatever it is, that's add an element. And we'll get to that later. But for now, we're just going to edit what's already here. The next feature is the play button. Well, these two arrows are undo or redo. So as you make changes and you made a mistake and you want to go back, you can edit, undo, or redo. The next is this preview loading animation. So you'll see there are animations when you load the website and things come in and move around to give it a little bit of a dynamic feel. So that lets you preview that. And then this is the mobile view icon. You just click that, and now you can see how the page looks like on a mobile phone. And then you can switch back to desktop view. And then there's also save. This is looks like an old floppy disk. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this video who have never seen one in life, but they use it for the icon here. And that will publish your site. And we'll get to that at the very end. But this is good to do to just save your work as you go. Card will save it for you in the background, but as a general rule, it's good to just save as you go. And then in this little hamburger icon, you'll see you can publish here as well. You can start over. If I have done that before, I've gotten to a point in creating a website where I'm just like, I'm totally lost. I've totally lost my train of thought. I don't know what I'm doing. I completely messed up. I want to go back to the beginning. If you click start over, that will take you back to this very base template where you can start over. And then there's a few things that we can edit from this hamburger menu is the background and the page. So the background is the background, as you would think, like that video. When we look at the completed template, this video is considered the background. So to edit the background, we can click here and it'll bring up our background menu, or we can just click on the background and that does that too. Okay, so you don't have to use these menus. You can just click on the screen. And Card is really powerful and really amazing to use and edit on a phone or on an iPad. But I always do, as just a general rule, I always edit everything on a desktop or laptop computer just because of the size of it and being able to tweak things easily. Some people don't like using a desktop computer, and I completely understand, but that I find when just constructing a website from scratch or from a template, using a laptop or desktop will make things easier for you at the beginning. Once you've made your website going in and editing or adding things or changing things or tweaking things can definitely be done on a phone very easily or on a iPad, for example. But that's just my advice when you're starting and building a website. Definitely better to just do it on a desktop computer or a laptop. Now, when we click on the background, we get this tab that comes up, and it allows us to make the changes we want to the background. Okay, so the first thing is the style, and it's a drop-down menu, and we can pick whatever we want here. So we don't want to put a video in, we can change it to a color and make that color anything we want. We can change it to a gradient. We can change it to an image and upload an image, or pick from the library, video, or even a slideshow. So there's lots of options. I like the video background because it's just really dynamic and kind of adds something and shows off the product kind of subliminally. I just really like that feature. So I'll walk you through creating a video, but we have to make our product first, okay? So we can't create a video quite yet. And then position will change where the video is showing, and we can get into that more once we've made the video. And looping, where is it going to just play once and end, and now it's just a still in the background, or is it going to loop back to the beginning? I like a loop, and we'll talk about how to make videos so that they loop without having that abrupt jostle of a video ending and starting all over again. An overlay. And then the pattern, I currently have a bokeh pattern, which is what these hexagons are. You can easily get rid of that so they're not there if you don't like that look. Completely up to you. And there's tons of different things you can play around with. Now you can get overwhelmed pretty quickly with the amount of stuff they have here. And so I like to just try and keep things simple, show you the features, and you can kind of go wild with it. But when starting, you really want to just pare it back and have it be pretty basic, and then you can kind of tweak it from there once you have your basic layout. Okay, so that's all we're going to do with that for now. And then up here at the top of the tab, there's a section here with a little play button, and this is going to show you the animation. And we can actually animate the background a little bit. So when someone opens the web page, it's not just the video there. It will fade in to the video, and it'll be just over a second of duration, or we can adjust it to more, and we can choose the color they see before it fades in. So if that's a feature you want to add, you can definitely do that. With video, I think it's already a lot of movement and things happening that I don't like the fade in, but it's completely up to you. And once we've made all the changes we want to make, we just click done. And now we can see the whole website again, and we can preview it and save it as wanted. So now that we understand how the background works, we can then go to the page level. So you see when I hover over the page, there's this big dotted line that comes up. Now I can also get to the page here in the hamburger menu. So if I click on, when I hover and I get that page, I can click on that. And now I'm editing this section in the middle that's overlaying the background. So you can see when I scroll, it's this other section that's moving around. And I can make whatever changes to this page that I want. I can increase the width to the whole thing, or just a smaller portion, or make it really tiny. I like to have something around 40% is what I prefer, because that's almost a mobile phone view. It's kind of in between a tablet and a mobile phone. And then that just makes it more intuitive as I'm designing to keep it more mobile friendly in general. We can adjust all kinds of things here. We can change it to a box. We can change it to a wide box. We can change it to a tall box, or what I had was default. And this is a tall box with a transparent background, meaning there's no background here. So we have the width. We can adjust the padding, which is the amount on each side and the top. So if we do vertical, you'll see the top drops down. Some people like a big bunch of space there. Some people like no space. the horizontal is on the edges here. So you can see it's just the stuff inside the page that's adding this padding. So you can change it to whatever you want. And then the size of all the elements, we can make it bigger relative or smaller relative, or just kind of keep it where it was. I think was something like that. Here we can decide if we want to center all the contents, have everything go to the left by default, go to the center, go to the right. I think center for most of us feels good. And now when we select something like that, we can always go in and decide that a single element would be aligned right or left within the page. This is just, we'll call it global settings that we can always tweak at a more micro level. And then the general spacing of contents, we can decide we want things to be in general more spread out or closer together or somewhere in between. Okay. And then once at the bottom of most of these pages, you'll see that there's mobile settings that we can adjust. So we can make adjustments just to appear on a mobile phone. And that's what's so great about Card really as a website editor, is a lot of websites let you design for mobile as well, and you can toggle back and forth. But when you want to make little tweaks specifically for mobile, it can get really difficult and complicated in places like Shopify, Squarespace, and other platforms. So what Cards really mastered is being able to make those little tweaks for the mobile design. So to preview it, we can go to the mobile phone view and we can see like, I don't think I need everything spread out as much as it is here. So we can make things bigger or smaller, or we can adjust the padding so it's more or less. So there's a little bit of tweaks. We can also adjust the alignment if we want to make it different from mobile phone view. Okay, so there's not a ton of tweaks, but there's a little bit. And most of the time, what it automatically does for us is pretty good. But you'll see there's some issues here with the design that I'm going to want to fix on a micro level that the global settings won't do. So I'm going to click Done here. And I'm going to go back to this whole page. And next is we're going to go in and make tweaks to the individual items. So I always recommend starting big to small. So I started with the background, which is the biggest, and I went to the page level. And now I'm going to go to the bigger elements on the page and then go down to the smaller ones. So starting with the bigger elements, that would be this big text box here. Maybe I want to change this to say something else. I hope so, unless you want to completely copy my website, that's completely up to you. Go for it. You can change the text here to whatever you want. Now, this right now is automatically changing where the text reads when it gets smaller. You can see it says how many, then drops down to days until, then drops down until Christmas. And then when I'm open it, it says how many days until Christmas. So if I want to say like, no, look, I want it to say how many days until, and then Christmas at the bottom, I can do that here and it will do it for me here. And when I go to the mobile view, it's the same, but also it could get compressed a little bit more again, depending on the size. But that will give us a pretty good idea of how it'll look. So if I want it to have that look, I can have it like that, or I can leave it how it was and it'll just dynamically change as the size of the screen changes. And then when we look at these other elements, now we can see there's more things for us to select across the top of these tabs. So the letter tab, that's obviously for the text. And there's other markdown formatting that's included in here. I'm not going to really get into that because it's a lot of stuff here, but let's just, for example, say we wanted to make this text bold. I don't know if it will change because this is a pretty bold text, but all we'd have to do is put where it says star star and then bold and then star star. It just means we're putting 2 stars on either side of whatever text we want bold. So we do star star and then we want this whole title to be bold. I put star star at the end. And you'll see it shows that the stars are here, but when we look here, it doesn't show the stars because that's forcing the text to go bolder. And you can see, because this is a funky bold font anyway, it's not really doing what I want it to do. So I'm going to just delete those. But that's exactly how these markdown formattings work. So if I want italic, there's two ways. I could do 1 star on each end. Bold italic would be 3 stars. Underline is 2 underscores, etc., etc. So if you can see how that works for underline, okay? So you can kind of play around with that and see. And if you don't want it to be just the whole title, it could be just in one of the words. We could just underline Christmas by doing 2 underscores. And now you can see it's just Christmas that's underlined. Okay, so there's a lot of fun you can do playing around with that, and it shows you all the different ways you can do these different modifiers to the text here. Now the next tab is the paintbrush, which is going to be our appearance, they call it, or styling of the text. So here we can change the colors, the font, the size, all these things about the text. Now, the first thing that pops up is color. And this is where we're going to start talking about color. And I mentioned in the intro of this video that I'm going to talk about color schemes. Color schemes are really important when building a website. And if you have designed your own logo or designed your own graphics or products, you probably understand color a little bit and how important it is to kind of stay cohesive and on your branding. So how do we get our colors? Well, if you go to the template page, or if you, in the bottom of the description of this video, or if you're on the page on the Whutsy website, you'll see there's a link for color palettes. You want to click on that. And that's going to open up the color generator at Coolers. And why I love this is that we can go ahead and play around with colors. We can move them around. We can shuffle. So I want to just kind of get some ideas for color palettes. You just hit the space bar, and now we're creating a new color palette. Space bar again, we created a new color palette, and on and on and on. It creates popular color palettes when we click the space bar. But let's say, okay, I really like this black. It's not pure black. It's like this really cool black. So I definitely want this in our color palette. So I'm going to hit the lock icon. Okay. And then I can hit spacebar again. That black stays where it is, and it's changing the colors around it. See? And then maybe we found another color that we like for our color scheme is this kind of off green, beigeish green, and we can continue and keep going and find things that go with the theme we want to create or already in our branding. Now, once we've kind of got a color scheme that we like, we can lock all of these and we just keep this window open in another tab. Now, if you already have existing branding colors, say you have a logo and you want to pull the colors from the logo, well, we can do that too. You just go to the tools and Coolers and you go to image picker, and you're going to upload your logo, and then when it automatically picks some colors, but what we can do is say we want to pick specific colors where the white dot is on that part of the color palette. That's this here, this bigger circle is indicating what color it is. So we want to move that to whatever color we want, and then we can move to the next color, this one, and then we can move this to whatever color we want in our logo. This color, we can move it to another color in our logo, and so on. If I need to add colors, I just click this plus. If I need to remove colors, it's too many, you hit the minus, okay? And then we can just pick the last color for this palette is here. And then once we have all of our colors, we go down here to the bottom and do export palette, and we open in the generator. And now we have that palette that we picked from our logo or image or whatever it is. And to make sure that these don't get accidentally changed, we just lock these. And then also you can sign in, create an account, and save this color palette so you can access it later, which I think is an amazing thing to do, and I highly recommend it. So you can always come back and get your colors. Now, why is this so important? Well, these numbers here are very important when building your website. So those are the numbers we need when we're on our template builder or in card to paste into here. So you can see this color. This isn't pure white. It's a little bit of an off gray that I used, but that's the color I used for my color palette for this template. But not everyone's going to want to use these colors. So we can go ahead in and pick what we want for our text color. Now you can see I don't have a white, and I recommend having some sort of white. So I just click the plus icon. So I have another color here, and then we can go in here and oops. Let's see if I can just go into this where it says view shades and move up to a really light color white. And I'm going to use that as my white, not pure white. I'm going to now, when I'm ready to pull this color code, I just see where it says copy hex. That's what I want to click. Copy that. And then I go here and we want to make sure that there's the number, the hashtag symbol, and you paste in the color that we just copied, and now it's changed it. Now this is very similar to the color that was in existence here, so it's not a big change, but if you are going to go ahead and use your own specific branding colors, you'll want to go ahead and change that, even how subtle it is. If you want it to be back how it was, we just click the undo, and that's how we do that. Now we have all these other colors that we're going to want to change as well. So you can click on any of these elements, go ahead to the paintbrush icon, and then you find out where the colors are. So here's another color. This is the outline, this gold. I used all over the place in this template. So you can go ahead and get from your color palette the color that you want to use as the accent color instead of this gold, and you just paste it in here. And now you can see when I click done, that is now there. Okay. And I also added some hover colors. So when you hover over, you can see that that pink turns to white when I hover, just to make the page a little bit more dynamic. So I can change that hover color to something else in my color palette if I want. If I wanted to make it the white I chose, I could do that. If I wanted to make it this purple, for example, just to make it stand out a little more, I could go ahead and do that, paste it in, click done, and hover, and now it's this purple. Okay. And it also, the label, you can see it's, when I hover, it changes both the border and the label. So I had the label this color and the hover this color. So when I hovered, it just changed. It looked like it just changed the outside. So you could go ahead and change this up however you wanted. I could do it so the outline and the label match at first, and then when you hover, it turns purple. Or I could have it so the outline's the pink and the text, the label is this purple, and then when I hover, it changes the border to match the label. You can go ahead and play around with that to whatever kind of style you like. I'm going to just undo the changes here so it's back to what it was originally. And these are the buttons. So you can see that's how you go ahead and change in all the colors. All this stuff is very similar in the way that it works. The next section on here is the animation, which is that play button. So you can customize the animations of each of the elements. I have this coming in, sliding in from the left, a little longer duration, a delay. And replayable just means if someone's scrolling down and then back up, it replays the animation. That can sometimes get overwhelming and be a little much, so I would use that sparingly, just maybe for an element that you want to make sure that people continue to draw their attention to, maybe like the cart icon, for example, or something like that. So there's tons of different elements here that I can customize with the paintbrush and the animation. The last icon that you see on some of these things is this gear icon, and this is more advanced things that you're not going to have to worry about for the most part. Now, if you are understand coding and CSS and this kind of stuff, you may want to fiddle around with that. But this stuff is only available in that top tier Pro plan. So if you are using the Pro Lite plan, you won't be able to use these advanced settings, okay? But like I said, for most of us, you're not even going to need it. Now let's say I have this text block here. I've got it how I wanted with the colors and the font and everything. I want to copy it and make something similar without having to make all these changes. You can just click the copy icon, and then that makes another one, and you can click on this here again, go to the letter, and then change this text to whatever you want. And if you want to make some more modifications to this specifically, like the font, we can change the font and pick out something different here. Now, if I worked on this and I'm like, ooh, I don't like this. Well, there's the trash icon. Get rid of it. Perfect. So you can see that's all the elements and how you edit them. Now, the next thing is adding a new element. And we're going to get into that once we add in our Shopify buy buttons. And we're also going to talk about these controls, which are ways to link to different parts of your card. Okay, so I added in this products control, and this can be added anytime when you click add an element. It's a control. Now this is called a scroll point. So meaning it's going to, when someone's scrolling, if I have a lot more elements on this page, it's going to kind of stop here as like a little bit of a pause, a break. When you scroll, you sometimes notice that when you're scrolling on web pages, it'll be drawn to a certain part of the page. And that's what this is. And when you name it, I name this products. Now this allows us to put this in anywhere we want to add a link. So what did I do? I put it where it says shop. If we click on our buttons and we go back to the tab where we can edit our buttons, you'll see I have the shop button here. Now if I click on it here, the label, that's the text that shows, and then the URL is that hashtag products, which you'll see matches with that control. So when someone clicks on this, it will take them down to this part of the page. So if you have a long scrolling page with lots of elements and stuff, this is how you can let people link and click around your page and find certain elements, be it your products, your blog, whatever it is, images, this part of your portfolio. If you have that on here, you can do that. Now there's lots of other things that you can do with these controls. You can make a section break, which will just break it into a different part of the page. So you can use that as same way that I use the products. That will take you from the shop to the products section, okay? And they talk about a little bit more about how these things can be used, but this will be a section that behaves like a separate page, okay? That's what they say, section break. It's almost like a separate page. When we're editing it, it's not going to appear when someone just goes to your page. Your website's just going to end here. And then when someone clicks on this, it goes to another page, which will be this section, okay, if that makes sense. Header mark and footer mark, those are going to be other ways that you can create a footer or a header. And this is more to do with coding and custom coding, and for most people won't be necessary. So for a lot of us, a scroll point, if you want to have a long scrolling one-page website, you want to use these. If you want to break up your website into more like pages, you would want to use the section breaks, okay? But you just want to keep that in mind when you're designing here in the editor, because if you design with the section breaks, you're going to be seeing something slightly different than the actual preview. So if we do a section break here, and if we click animation preview, that's not how we'll be able to see it. We'll have to save to publish the site and then preview it to see what's going on here, okay? So just keep that in mind when you are, here we go. So we can show it in section view. See, so you can see this is how it will look with that section view. Okay, and that just means that nothing else is on this page. And now I have no way of getting back to the page. So I have to click the up arrow there, which will take me back to the full view. So you can see that can get a little bit confusing. It might be better to start with scroll points first, design your page, and then if you feel like going more advanced and creating those section breaks that act like pages on your website, you can go ahead and do that, okay? All right, so I hope that explains the how a lot of the functions work when you're editing in card, and answers a lot of questions for folks if they were trying to edit templates and were a little bit lost. The other things that are on this template that you might want to take a look at is this is an embed, and this is where you can paste in custom code. Okay, so if you've got like you want to embed a YouTube video, you can paste that code where it says code. Okay, and this label is for reference only, so I can see it in this view, but it will not show up when I'm looking at the page itself. So you can see it says paste Shopify button code here on the final, on the template. But when I'm in here, you can see it doesn't say that at all, but you can see it says it here where the code is. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And then we can talk a little bit while we're here about adding an element. So when we click the plus icon up here, this is where we have all our elements. Now, it's just good, a good technique to use containers and then put things in the containers. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can see up here, all this stuff across the top is in a container, okay? Because what I did is I broke this up into 3 columns so I could have my buttons, I could have my social links, and then I could have this cart icon. And I created 3 columns here. Okay, and then I can decide what percentage the width of those columns is. Well, obviously you want that to add up to 100. It will automatically. You can add it up, create it up into 4 columns. You can make it 2 columns. You can make it 1 column. Okay, and then within the container, I have my buttons, I have my icons for my social media, and I have the cart icon. Okay, so for my social media, you will want to go ahead in here and change these links to your social media links. And you can also add, they have tons of icons. You can add whatever you want. Whatever social media you have, I'm pretty sure they have it here, okay? So you can add any kind of icon you want, or you can remove icons, change these. You can reorder them. All you have to do is drag them around. If you want to have them in a different order, you can do that. And then if you want to change the colors, go into the paintbrush and change the colors like I showed you. And you can increase the size, make them bigger, make them smaller, whatever you want. The spacing between them, I don't remember what I had for a size. But like if I make a change and I'm not sure what I did, I can go ahead and just undo until I get back to where I was when I started. And you can adjust the alignment if I want this to be to the left of the container. When I click done, you'll see it's moved there. Or if I want it to be on the right to kind of come up closer to the cart icon, that's just your design eye, what you like, okay? And for the cart icon here, we're going to add in a special, this is the icons element. We can change this to whatever we want, but when we click on the cart, you can see it doesn't go to a URL. It goes to this just generic URL right now, but we're going to make that go to our Shopify checkout. So if someone adds our product to their cart, they'll be able to easily find their cart this way as well, like in a traditional online store, versus getting lost and not being able to check out, okay? All right, so I hope that answers all the questions as far as how to edit a template in Card. And you can see the templates that they provide, they can all be created from scratch, from the template I'm giving you, from your own head. Everything can be created, and you can add and change things to really make something special here and easily add content. So once you have the basic template, I know we still have some things we need to add here. You're going to want to click the icon here to publish, and you might be scared like, oh, it's not ready yet. Don't worry about that. You can just name it whatever you want, put in a description. Now the title, when someone eventually, once we are done with the website, you're going to want to pay attention to the title, because the title is going to be what shows up in Google and what shows up at the top of the browser menu. So like in these tabs, that's what's going to show there. And then the description is the same thing. That's going to show up in Google as the description of the site. And then this is where you can decide if you want to publish to a card.co URL or an offline draft. So you can have it as an offline draft, or you can just publish it to this URL. No one's going to find it yet, and we can customize it to whatever we want. And it's checking. I can't imagine it's available, so we'll just come up with a number, and that's available. So you can just do that. And then why would we publish it when we can save it as an offline draft? Well, I like to be able to preview it live, and the odds of someone stumbling across this and finding it are pretty low at this point, so I wouldn't worry about that. And we can always change it to something else. And you can see that there are other options here to change this website. So once we have this information entered, we can click publish. Just so you know, you can also select other tabs up here. This is your share image. So if someone shares your URL to Twitter or whatever, this is the image that comes up. This icon, this is the icon that appears in the tab up at the top of the page. So you can upload an icon for that. And then the other settings here, you can enter in a preferred language. If you want to change the language, you can add a password to this. So for example, if you're going to be taking a few days or several weeks editing and creating your website, you can put a password on it first so that no one can get in there and look at it if you're concerned about that. So that's up to you. Google Analytics, I'm not going to go into that very much, but if you have a Google Analytics ID, which I do encourage you to set up, probably watch a different video to figure that out if you don't know, and paste it in there. Update frequency is auto. If there's aspects of its performance that you need to be tuned up more regularly than auto, then you can go ahead and select that. And then meta tags is just another place to add SEO tags, but not necessary to do. So once you've put in the most basic information, you click publish. It says it won't let me publish because the background's missing. So let me cancel. And let me see if I can save as a draft. There we go. So it's letting me save as a draft. So until we get the background done, we're going to save it as a draft, and you can see the view site button isn't available. So that's one of the downsides of saving as a draft. It's a little bit harder to preview the site to see how it actually looks on the internet. All right, I took a little bit of a break there, went and got a fresh cup of coffee. So if you're thinking on the same wavelength as I am, maybe pause the video and go get yourself a cup. So I apologize if I do sip intermittently. What we're going to do next is now we're going to set up Shopify, and we're going to create a product. Like, how fun is this? So this is really not related to card in any way, but it's a great way to monetize your website. You don't have to use this with card, certainly, but I think this is just one way to really level it up. So you can take this one page and you can just make it with all your links and a little bit about you and links to your YouTube channel or embed videos or whatever it is, posting your TikToks or extended TikToks or stuff like that. But why have a website and not take advantage of that and that audience I don't mean take advantage of your audience, but I mean, it's an opportunity for us to monetize a little bit. And by creating a genuine product that people that either follow you enjoy, or uh, if you're an Etsy shop and you have followers that like your products, why not make something a little special for those people that actually go out of their way to follow you and enjoy your content or enjoy your products, so don't think of it as like trying to, I don't know, don't put any negative connotations on that, because if people are following you and people enjoy what you do, they may want to actually encourage you and spend a little money with you instead of going to the Dollar Tree or Walmart or Amazon to spend their money. So why not give them that opportunity to do that? And what we're going to do is we're going to create a Shopify Lite account. And I have the link below in the description of the video, or at whutsy.com/card. You can find all the links so you can follow along. And what is Shopify Lite? Well, it's basically a place where you can create orders, create invoices, and allow people to check out, more importantly. So you can create products and have them available for sale without having a full-on online store. Because if you look at the pricing of Shopify plans, their online store plan is $29 a month, which in the grand scheme of things, if you're selling a lot of products and you have an audience that will buy a lot of products, set up an online store with Shopify. I have a complete tutorial video for people who have no idea what Shopify is and need that step-by-step hand-holding that I love to do. And you can go ahead to the channel and watch how I create an online store with Shopify and see if that's the direction you want to go. But what we're doing here is a little bit different to create a basic single product store, or maybe 2 or 3 products. I don't think card's really effective if you want to sell tons of products. But if you want to sell just a couple items or have a limited edition drop and just have it be easy to put up, take down, that kind of scenario, this is what I'm talking about with Shopify Lite. Now, this is an additional fee of $9 per month. So that's something to consider while you're doing this. But we can start a 14-day trial. And if you think that you have the audience or have a following or have the ability to make these sales that will cover this $9 a month, now you're already going to be profitable right from the get-go, because that seems like a pretty low barrier to entry. And that's what I'm trying to do here with this video, is show you, like, look, we can have 3 websites. Look, you can have one Shopify Lite program and we can account, and we can create 3 websites, or was it 10 websites with let's look at the plans again. Here it is. The Pro Standard Plan, $19 a year. We can have 10 websites. And so with one Shopify Lite, we can come up with 10 different product niches and build 10 different websites using this kind of format, all with one Shopify Lite account under the same brand. So that can get confusing really quick. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but it's something you can do. So if you have lots of YouTube channels, for instance, and you can't manage 10 online stores with 10 different brandings, this is a way to kind of get around that and sell to each audience individually while under one account, and saving quite a bit of money. If you added up, 10 YouTube accounts with different items that you want to sell, then at 10 online stores at $29 a month, I mean, that's starting to add up really quickly. So this is just another example of how you can use this kind of approach to creating an online store. If you're an individual, a creator, and you don't want to have a huge business where you're hiring people to do all kinds of things for you. This is just one of those techniques. So what you're going to want to do is go ahead and click in the link below, get to the Shopify Lite page and sign up and create an account and start your free trial. Okay. So once you've created your free trial, your account, and now even if you have already used up your free trial and you're like, okay, I'm ready to use Shopify Lite, maybe not with the online store, I'm going to show you what you have to do. So when you log in, you may see this where it says Sales Channels Online Store. So what we want to do is get rid of that so we're not paying for that, right? So we're going to go to our settings and we're going to go ahead to plan. And now you can see mine looks a little bit different than yours, probably because I have a developer account because I build websites for people. So I get special deals from Shopify for that. But for most of you, you'll see a billing date of $29 if you're signed up for the online store plan. So what we can do is do change plan. And then that'll take us to this. And you're like, wait a second, $26 a month. If I buy yearly, wait a minute, that's not what I wanted. So we're going to just go scroll all the way to the bottom. And here where it says remove your online store, you can sell with the Shopify buy button and in person with point of sales for only $9 a month. So what we're getting with this is these buy buttons that we can embed on these websites, the card websites, and then we're also getting the ability to sell at point of sales in person. So if you're selling in arts markets and things like that, you can take advantage of the great deals that Shopify has with their point of sales and use this. So what you're going to do is scroll to the bottom here and click Remove Online Store. And you'll see I'm taken to my sales channels and I have that online store here. And what I'm going to do is just click Remove. And then they just want to know why you want to remove this. And you don't have to put in anything. But this, you want to just double check and make sure this is all okay with you. Now, what's different about mine is my plan isn't active. So that's why it says $0 a month. It's not active. But if you are going to be active, it will say $9 a month. And you can leave it as a trial until you're ready to go if you want, and then launch it and pay. But for now, they just want to confirm that you understand what's happening here. And then you can decide if you want to have that sales channel or not, and why. If you want to, you don't have to, that's optional. And you're just going to click remove online store. Now don't be scared. We can get it back and we can always upgrade. If you have built out an online store already and you're downgrading because it's not working for you or it doesn't feel like the right fit for you, you're going to want to download your store first before you do this. And if you don't know how to do that, I would YouTube a video that shows you how to export your online store or download your online store from Shopify so you can save it. And then down the road, if you want to use it later, you know it's safe. Okay, so you can remove online store. Good time to take a sip. And you can see it says no sales channels. So what we're going to do next is add the sales channel. Now we can do that here, or I want to show you where else you can do this. We can go back home, exit out of here, go home. Here we go. So from the home page, let me refresh because it shows the online store there. There we go. So now there's nothing here. Okay, so my store has nothing. What we're going to do now is click Add Sales Channel. And here is where if we wanted to sell in person, we can add that. But what we're going to be doing for now is doing the Buy button. So we're going to click Add Buy button. Okay, another chance for me to take a sip here. And it's doing its little dance here, kind of freaking out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just click stop here and go back home and see if this can just chill out. Okay. So we've added that sales channel. If yours kind of freaked out a little bit, just at some point click the home button so you can get back to this, your website, shopify.com/admin. Now we can't create buy buttons if we don't have any products. Now I think I have some products in here just as examples. And there's also demo products you can add if you want to. I'll have a link in the description below if you want to add demo products just to test this out, see if you like it. But I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how to create a print-on-demand product, add it to your Shopify account, and then we're going to put it into our card website. Okay, so in the link below is a link to take you to Printful, and that will prompt you to sign up for an account. And so you want to enter in all that information. And once you have entered in all that information, you're going to want to go ahead to the dashboard. So if you don't have a Printful account, follow the link below and set up your account and pause this video. So once you've set up your account, you go ahead to your dashboard. And this is where, there's lots of things that we need to set up in the settings and all that kind of thing. And so to do that, you would just go to settings, my account, and add in all the settings you need to do. I'm not going to walk you through that right now, but you want to make sure that you have all these check boxes marked off so that you can start selling products. Okay. But for now, I'm just going to show you the very basic stuff that we need to do. What you want to go ahead to first is you go to your stores. And now I already have an Etsy store connected. So this is a great thing if you want to sell something in your Etsy store. We can now sell it also on Shopify or in the Shopify buy button so we can put it on our card website. Okay, we're getting lots of layers here, but I'm really trying to keep it as simple as possible. And why I chose Printful for this is because we can very easily take a product from our product templates in Printful, which I'll walk you through, and add it to any of these stores. Some of the other print-on-demand platforms, it's a little bit more complicated, but Printful makes it easy. So I thought this is a great way to introduce you to that business model and this workflow. So we're going to add a new store. So we just scroll down and we just click Choose Platform. And you can see Shopify is right here. So we can click Connect. And now now it tells us how to do it. So create a Shopify account. We've already done that. And then we click Get the App. And this takes us to the Printful app on Shopify App Store. And we click Add App. And we already if we're not logged in, it'll ask us to log in. And that's when I click the account we need. And here it is. And all we have to do is just give Printful permission to access our Shopify account. We click Install App. And this is just saying, hey, you already have an account. Is this the account you want to connect to? And then yes. If we want to connect to a different one, then you would want to log into that. And it's giving you lots of chances to sign into a different account. But this is the one I want to connect with in Printful. And there we go. So now that's connected. So if I go back to this where it says stores, you'll see now I have Shopify connected and I have Etsy connected. Okay, so if I have a product in Etsy all ready to go, I can go to my product templates and push that product to my Shopify store now. So for example, I have my aprons. I can click here and I can, let's see, how would I do this? I think, let me see, maybe I have to do it from stores. I thought I could do it from, okay, so yeah, I do it from stores and I click Add Product. And I can go, and then this pops up automatically. Right, so this is how you do it. Sorry about that. So you go to stores and you click Add Products. And now I can go to my product templates. And this is something already in my Etsy store. So I could just click that and add it to now my Shopify store. Okay. Or I can import from another store into my Shopify store. So these are my Etsy products, right? See, this is the store for Etsy. It isn't indicated, but that's what that is. And I can pick and push to my Shopify store. But what we're going to do is create a new product. And I think a fantastic introductory product, and what I have designed my template for on Card, is for mugs. So what do? I just type in mug here and search. And I'm going to just choose a very basic glossy mug here. There's other mugs, but I'll show you down the road why I'm choosing the most basic model of the mug. And we have 2 size options we can choose. And now this is where we can add our design. Now, this mug we can design on both sides. So when we click design, does it show us? Doesn't. Well, I have a concept for my mug that I've already come up with. And I'm sure if you already have an existing brand or a purpose for selling or purpose for creating your card website, you might have an idea of what you want to put on your mug as a concept, maybe not the specific design. But what I want to do is put on one side of my mug to match my my design here. I'm going to put ask me how many days until Christmas. And then I want to put on the other side of the mug, the side of the mug that will be facing the person drinking when they're holding the mug with their right hand, will be a winking Santa. This is just kind of like this cool concept idea that I have. Now I can search for clip art and for quick designs that might be on Printful. So I'm going to just do a quick little search that maybe they have Santa and see if that comes up. So these aren't quite what I'm looking for. I was hoping they might have something here, but let me just check and see if they have a clip art that might be what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to put Santa and see there's one here, and these are cute, but they're not quite what I'm looking for. So if you find the designs that you can use straight out of Printful, or if you just want to add a text design, you can go ahead and do that. You can see I can do some things with the text editor here, but it's not really the greatest, and it's not exactly the look I want to go with. So what I can do, and what I absolutely love doing, is I go to Creative Fabrica. Now there's a link in the description, big surprise, that'll take you here, also on the Whutsy card page, whutsy.com/card. And why do I love Creative Fabrica? Because they have tons of print on demand, POD assets, which means these are all graphics that I can use on my print on demand designs as is. I don't have to make any changes if I don't want to. So I always say, don't copy, don't take someone's design and use it. But these are licensed, so you can do that if you want to. But I always like to change them a little bit anyway, so they fit my kind of style. I'm not going to really go into a ton of that detail right now, but this is a great place to start. I use the all access subscription just so I can go into Creative Fabrica, download whatever I need for POD. I go to the POD link and I just search all these products, all these amazing designs for what I need for whatever I'm designing for. So I'm going to search for Santa here and see if I can come up with that winking Santa graphic that I want. And maybe if I even am more specific, there isn't one. So I'm going to have to just search Santa and hopefully come up with something. So I can click the graphics and it'll narrow it down a little bit for me, and see if I can find one that will fit the kind of idea that I have for a Santa picture on my mug. And sorry, this might take a little bit of time, but I recommend you guys search for whatever design you want to make in the mug. Sometimes the problem with this site is there's actually too much, so it can be tough to narrow it down. But I'd rather have the problem of having too many options than not enough. So I'm going to just pause the video and skip ahead once I've found what I'm looking for. Okay, I did a lot of searching and I found one that I'm pretty happy with. I'm still going to have to do a little bit of changes to it. So I'll take away the happy holidays on it, but I like the Santa graphic and the wreath of stars around him. And you can see on Creative Fabrica, it tells you that it has full POD usage. So I don't have to worry about that. And if anyone reaches out to me and needs to see proof of the license, then everything will be in my profile. I can easily find the licenses. So all the legal documents are there in case I need those. So that's one of the other things I really love about Creative Fabrica. So all I have to do is click download, and that will be going to my computer. I just open the zip file. And what I'm going to do is I have to just do a little bit of editing to remove that happy holidays. And so this is something that you could do with Photoshop or on your phone to edit the file if you need to. I'm just going to go ahead into Photoshop really quick and just erase the happy holidays part. Save, and I am back. So now I'm going to go ahead back to Printful. Now, if I need to get to the design page, you just find the template you're working on or create a new product. After you click Store, Add New Product. And I can easily just drag and drop from my folder that picture. And it's going to go ahead and put that on the mug. And you can see that now I have, okay, there's lots of stuff popping up at me here. All right, so you can see this is the wraparound design for the mug. This is the left handle of the mug, the right handle of the mug. I'm going to assume when someone's drinking, they're using their right hand in most cases. I'm not trying to say that there's people that don't. And then I'm going to go ahead and blow this up so it's nice and big on there, but still all the stuff is on the mug, and that's going to be that side of the mug. And I can do a quick preview of it to see what that looks like. Make sure I like it. Perfect. That looks really cool. And I'm going to go ahead back to design view because I want to add now on the other side some text. Now, what I want to add on text might be on Creative Fabrica. So I'm going to look, I'm going to say, ask me how many days till Christmas. See if that brings up anything. So there, nothing comes up for that. I'm going to just shorten it. All right, so I'm going to just change it to Christmas countdown and see. Let's see. I'm not really seeing what I'm looking for. So I think I'm going to have to just make a quick design. And what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to go to Canva, link below in the description. Log in here quickly. All right. So I just created a logo design. Doesn't really matter. I have the Pro account, so I can change the size of this as much as I want. For a mug, you probably want to have 1,000 or 1,200 pixels by 1,200 pixels, something like that. And I'm just going to create some text. And I want it to be, let's see if they have some sort of design here that I might want to use. All right, so then I'm just going to go ahead and download this as a PNG with a transparent background, and I'm going to increase the size to 1250 by 1250. That should be big enough for the mug. So this is the Pro features. This is why I love the Pro account on Canva. You can, of course, have the free account with Canva and do a lot of this, but it will just take longer. You'll have to open it in Photoshop and make changes. Okay, and we're going to just center it on the other side of the mug, and then I'm going to make it bigger so it just takes up that whole area of the mug but doesn't crop anything. There we go. Perfect, and then we're going to go ahead and check out the mock-up view. So that's one side of the mug, and then you can see the other side, so it looks pretty cool. So one side has Santa looking at you while you're drinking your coffee, and then the other side lets everyone know, hey, I'm obsessed with Christmas, come talk to me, all right? So then we go ahead and click Proceed to Media. And then it says the designs for each product size need to be adjusted separately. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just do the 11th ounce mug just to save the complicatedness of this. Keep it as simple as possible. And then I can choose the mock-ups I want to use. So I wish, I don't know if they have a Christmas one. The red, white, and blue, spring and summer, here's holiday. And those aren't really inspiring me too much. Let's see what the environmental mock-ups, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a transparent background mock-up with nothing on the back. Because I'm going to show you how I'm going to showcase the mugs in the video as how it's used with a person, and then these are just showing physically what the mug looks like. And I don't need the front view. And then I want to use PNG with a transparent background. And then now there's this new feature that says production footage video in your product listing. So let's check that out. We're going to add that. And then that shows these two different videos. So I, of course, do not want a Printful logo in my mugs. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. And we're going to click Proceed to Details. And then here we can add the product title. Now, this doesn't necessarily matter as much, but what we put in the product title is going to show up on the receipt and on the checkout page when someone purchases the item. So we want to make sure that the product title makes sense for what it is. I'm going to name it the Christmas Countdown Mug, or the unofficial, is what I called it on the page, Christmas Countdown Mug. Okay, and the description I'm not too worried about, but just in case, I'm going to get rid of the 15-ounce mug option, and I'm going to get rid of this part. And we can add tags, which aren't important because the tags and stuff, that's for SEO, and this product page that we're building for the Shopify isn't going to be an actual page that needs to be searched. And then if you want, you can add it to product collections. Product visibility, we can publish it because the online store is not an online store. We're not worried about it. And then we can save settings for mugs where we can push specific settings to my Shopify shipping settings. So we can say, yes, free shipping, and we can change the revenue. It says $1.50. Not sure what that means. Sometimes Printful changes things, and I'm sorry I don't understand what they changed, but whatever. I'm going to change the retail price. So Printful price is $7.95. I can't charge $9 for this. There would be no profit left over for me whatsoever. I can still make this an affordable mug, but I do need to make it profitable and worth my time to make this web page, go through the design process, etc., etc. So whatever you think is fair for a mug, I think, anywhere around $15 or whatever is probably fair. And then we're going, let's see with the push settings. Yes, so we're going to push free shipping in the revenue. Let's see what these pricing settings, what it says. Oh, here we go. Free shipping on your storefront. We'll hide your product's shipping cost on your storefront so you can offer free shipping since you'll have to cover the shipping costs, add them to your retail price. Right, okay. So shipping cost, the USA is $6.99. Okay, so then the cost of the mug is $7.95, right? So that's where it can get you for sure, because now I have no profit whatsoever. So I'm going to have to charge for shipping and make sure that the shipping price at checkout is $6.99 for one mug, and the additional cost for mug is added in. And I'll show you how to do that in Shopify. So from here, I'm going to click Submit to Store. While that's working, I'm going to go ahead into Shopify, go to my settings, and I'm going to go to my shipping and delivery. And I'm going to manage my shipping settings. Oh, let me go back because it has a shipping profile Printful put in. So let's see what they have rates for the mugs. We're going to manage those because that's what's going to show up for the customers. So it already has added that one product. And then the cost for shipping all over the world. You can adjust these if you want to whatever countries you want to ship to. That will work out perfect. Okay, so Printful already added in the shipping profile for this mug, which is great. So you just want to go ahead in and make sure that that's how you want it filled out. Now you can, there are some requirements as far as selling to countries around the world. So just keep that in mind when you agree to do that kind of thing. You need to understand the taxes and other laws that apply to you for whatever country or state you're selling to. All right, so now that we're loading the product here, we can go ahead and click on it. All this is in products in Shopify. And you will see we have the mug, both sides of the mug, and then we have the video. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to open the picture of the mug and I'm going to download these so I have them on my computer and save them to a folder where I have all my images. And then it looks like the mock-up video, which is really cool, doesn't have my artwork on it. So that's too bad that it doesn't have the artwork loaded on it. But that's okay because we're still going to come up with a video that is going to work. So I'm just going to delete that because I don't want anyone actually seeing that associated with this mug. And I'm going to also move the image so that the ask me how many days till Christmas is on the front and Santa is on the back. Okay. So our next step is now to build the actual buy button that we're going to put on the website. All right, so I was having a little bit of a struggle with the buy button feature on Shopify, and that was just because I had cookies were disabled. So once I enabled cookies, it's going to work fine. So when you click on buy button, you should see the screen that says create a buy button. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now we can create a product buy button or a collection buy button. So we're going to just do a single product. We'll click that, and I don't know why it still says unavailable. This is why. It says that is marked unavailable for the buy button channel. So this just means when you're in the product, you have to switch it on. So things will be published to your store, but unless you switch it on, basically means that it's not going to show up in the buy button. So they're letting us do this here. You can also do that in the product page where I just was. So it's marking it as a official. So here we go. This is the basic look of how it will show up on our page in Card. So you have your product image, you have the title, the price, the add to cart button, and then there's also this like a little cart feature with how much is in the cart. That's like a little swinging tab that comes out like that. Okay, so there's a few different layouts we can choose. We can choose full view. We can choose basic, which is just literally the button, or we can do classic. And then action when people click, add the product to cart. So if you have multiple products on your page, you'll want to do it as an add to cart. For me, because this is my literally a single product checkout, I'm not going to have any other products on here for now. It's going to go direct to checkout. So there's no confusion. There's no way the person can click away and change their mind. They're going to go right to the checkout. Or you can have it open into product details so they can view more details on the product. So if you have something that needs a little bit more of a description before people add it to their cart, then you might want to do that. So whichever version's better for you. And you'll see when I select check to checkout, some of these other options are grayed out, and you'll see that that swing tab with the cart is gone. Okay, so there's a few options. If you have the add to cart, you have this swing out cart, and you have shopping cart options. And then if I select open product details, then I have options for the detailed pop-up. Okay, so depending on what you choose, there's more options. First thing is the button style. So here we are again, we have the styling. So for it to match my template, so if we go back to my template, you can see I have these buttons with the rounded corners. So to get that look, you just move the button corners up pretty much all the way. Will give you that really round edge button look. And then we can adjust the width to whatever we want, but that's fine. And then we have our colors. So this is when it's great to have our color palette, remember? So we can access our color palette. Now, this isn't the same color palette that I currently have on the template. So what I would prefer is to have that gold color, right? So I'm just going to go to my other color palette that's off screen here, and I'm going to grab that gold color. And that's just loading, sorry for the delay here. There's that gold color, perfect. And I'm gonna just paste it in here. And then I have it matching there now. Button text, white, that can be white, that would match that perfectly. And then we have the button text, the font. Now the font I used was called Cabin, which they don't seem to have in here. It's a Serif font. But I can find something similar, probably, and it's a bold font that I used. That's probably the closest, and that's the problem too with a lot of these like hack ways of doing things. You know, it's hard to get that perfect exact consistency, but it's pretty close, and I think most people probably won't mind at all. So that's the button style. The next thing we can do is go to the layout settings. Image size, we can do small, medium, or large. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do large, and then it says show additional images. So then that now gives you the option to choose which side of the mug you want to see. So maybe I'll do medium. There we go. The button text, I want it to match the same design I have here, which is a lowercase. So I'm going to just do buy now in lowercase. And we can add the quantity field so that if they want to buy 2, they can. And then we're having more colors here. So I know the colors for my text on the page are all black. We can change the text of the price to a different color than the title if we want to. And let's see, I use PT Sans Bold, I believe. And I'm going to use the same fonts, unless they have the permanent marker font. No, they don't really have anything kind of creative here, so we'll just use those. And we can adjust the size of this if we want, but we'll just keep it like that for now. And then go back. and then go into advanced settings. So checkout behavior, we can have it open up in a pop-up window, or we can redirect in the same tab. So I think for the effectiveness of this website, we'll have it open up in a pop-up window because I have that countdown timer on the page that people might want to look at and might be upset if it goes away. So I'm going to have it as a pop-up. You would want to redirect in the same tab if it's like a single product store and there's not really much else on the page that the person might want to have an interest in looking at. Okay, so that's the advanced settings. So we have it looking how we want it to look, and then we click next. And here we go, we're giving a given code. Now there's some bonus features here for WordPress, Squarespace, and Wix, and that's just going to walk you through the correct code for those platforms. But for us, this is going to work perfectly. So we're just going to click copy code. And now that's in our cut and paste. And then we're going to go ahead back to here. And where it says Shopify buy button code, we go here. And where it says paste the code, we're going to delete that and paste it in. And we're going to click done. And then now you see we don't see anything here, but what we need to do is actually publish this so that we can preview it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do a whatever name here, and then publish changes. Oh, and it's again, the background's missing. So I'm just going to go here and put in a color and just leave that gray for now. And that's fine. And then we'll add the video once I know that the buy button is working how I want it to work. Okay, so it's published. So we're going to click view site, and you can see that's the URL, and all the stuff is swinging in as it's supposed to. And this looks great, except for it's not centered. You see how it's kind of off to the side, and it's the image and everything centered here, but it's not centered on the page. So what we have to do there is go back to the tab with the editor, click on this again, and we have to enter in, let's see if it allows me to center just real quick. I'll do a quick, no, we can't. So what we have to do is add it to the code here. So what we're going to do is click at the very beginning of this, click enter, and you're going to do a, let's see, greater than symbol, right? Center, less than symbol, okay? And what you're going to do is go all the way to the end, very end of it, where it says script. We're going to hit enter, and we're going to do greater than symbol, backslash, center, less than symbol, okay, done. And then we're going to publish it again, publish the changes, okay. And then we're going to go back to this page here and just refresh. And now you can see that is centered. So that is all you have to do there. And we want to do maybe some changes here so this stands out a little bit more. And we don't have to go in and change anything in Shopify. We can do this all in card. So I'm going to go ahead back here, and I'm going to go to my embed. Now you can see my embed here, where that's where the mug is, okay, is also inside a container. And this is why I love using these containers. Now I can change the color of this container. Where it says background, none, I can change this to a color, and I can make it that white, right? Click done, publish changes. Okay, and then we go back here, refresh, and now there's my mug on a white background, so it stands out a little more. Now there's a little bit of tweaks I can do to make this look better. I can maybe use the large image next time on the Shopify buy button, try that and see if that fills that out a little bit more. But you know, this is one way to do it. You can tweak it a little bit better to fit your style, or all these things. And then There's a few more things that you want to do in Shopify before you publish their site. And then also we need to set up the email collection, right? So we don't want to just sell mugs. We also want to collect people's emails. So what we can do here is you can always, after you've done building your site, this section with the buttons, you can edit these if you want to make these go to places where you want them to go. So all you'd have to do is go to the buttons tab and then click here and change the text and the URL to go wherever you want. Or you can just delete that altogether and then there's no confusion. And publish that again, because those links were the ones that I built into the template so that you guys can find those products pretty easily. Okay, and then if we refresh, you'll see that that is gone. Okay, the next thing we want to do is create the video background, right? So for the video background, what I like to use is this website called placeit.net, and I have a link to this link that'll take you right to this video mockups page for Placeit. So this is a website that does require a membership. Now, if you can make your own videos, please do it, because you can buy your mug or buy whatever product you have and do your own video with your phone. But I know not all of us can do that, or if you're running a big store with lots of items, or you can find some definite use for this website, because it's not just mock-up videos. They also do mock-up photos. You can make designs. There's lots of things in here that might be useful to you. So what you want to do is go ahead and follow the link in the description and find your product. So we are doing coffee mugs. And now these are all videos of coffee mugs that I can customize with my image. How cool is that? They even have magic mugs that reveal the design when something hot's put in. So there's all kinds of stuff here. So you just browse through. And there was one here that I really liked. There were some Christmas ones, but they weren't quite the right ones for me. I really liked this one here with these two people and just enjoying a mug in a casual setting. So all we need to do to get our design on this mug is click Insert Image. Then we upload. And I just find the design I made with the Ask Me How Many Days Till Christmas design. And if I need to adjust the crop, I can, but that should work just fine. And this working with video does take a little bit of time, but you can see a little preview of it and it's on the mug. How cool is that? So now we can play it it'll render the video for us so we can preview it. Here's the preview. And if everything looks good, you just go ahead and click download. And now it's showing us 2 ways to purchase. So you can do just this mock-up for $9.95, or you can join the monthly membership for $14.95 or annually for $89.69. So that's up to you if you think you even want to use this. This is just a little tour of this feature. Obviously, you can record your own videos using your phone and get some great videos, or you can just use an image in the background, or you can just leave it blank on the background as just a color. You don't have to do this. I just like to show you guys the different options and different tools that are available to you, especially when just starting out. Sometimes it's really difficult when you're on your own to get dynamic content and get it going. So I've already downloaded this in another window, so I'm ready to rock. It does take a few minutes to download and prepare, but once it's ready, go ahead back to the editor, right? And we're going to click on the background, and the background pops up. And we switched it to color just so it would save. But we're going to now change it back to video. And we just have to upload the video into there. And I've got a warning that the video is too big. Now that's a bummer, right? What are we going to do? So now this is when we go back into Canva. Okay, I'm just going to use the same window because I'm not too worried about losing this design. So I'm going to upload the video. Okay, and it's at a square crop, but what I can do is, since I have the Canva Pro, I can resize this to, let's see, I think I want to do 1920 width by 1080 resize. There we go. Cancel. Okay. So that's just uploading. Once that's done, I can then cut this video short to 6 seconds. All right, once that's all ready, I'm going to go ahead and download this as an MP4. Okay, so that's all downloaded. Now we're going to go back here and try uploading again. Hopefully it's not too big. Perfect. And then upload. Oh, done. There we go. And we're going to click save, publish changes. This might take a little longer now that there's a video on there. Okay, and then we go back to view site, refresh, and then we have that in the background with our product there for sale. So you can see this is really basic. It needs probably a few tweaks. For example, I might do a overlay, so it's a little bit easier to read what's on the text. So all I have to do is click on the background again, go ahead down to overlay. You can see there's already an overlay on it, but what I need to do is up the opacity. So right now this bar right here is the opacity. So I can increase this, and I can see it's like kind of a golden color, but I can bring it to a gray or even a dark to darken it like that, or like a dark gold, something like that. And I can play around with the opacity to get what I'm looking for, so that the text pops a little better. So I like that. And I can always change the color of this from black to, let's see, white. So that pops a little more. So there's lots of little things, and this kind of sweeps in from the left. So maybe I'll change that. That's the animations thing. I'm just going to have none on that one. And then at the bottom, there's this little bit of text that I included from the template that can go away. And I might add just like a space at the bottom so it's not so divider. And it creates a little bar there. And you can increase the thickness of it and something like that. And what you can do here is just lower the opacity to 0. So meaning that it's completely clear, but it's adding just some space, a nice little buffer at the bottom. You can put in more buttons like I had in the template, or you can put in links, or you can put in your social media icons. If you wanted to do that, for example, I would just click on this, make sure that all these links for all the social media are accurate, so you don't have to change them twice, and then do copy. And then to move this, you just click on it and you drag it down. You might not be able to make it all the way down, so we just click, drag it part way, and then we go all the way to the bottom here, like that. And now I'm going to just change the design a little bit so it makes sense here at the bottom. Alignment center. Maybe I'll make these bigger at the bottom. Maybe I'll change the color so it's that white color, and then it changes to gold. I'm just doing this quickly. So when the hover, it's the opposite as above. And, so that you have a few different ways to increase your marketing potential. And again, you can change these buttons to whatever you want them to say. So the last thing that we need to do is get this, email form working. So I have a subscribe for a weekly Christmas countdown reminder and claim your exclusive coupon code for our Christmas mugs. So I want to, one, collect the email addresses somewhere so I can send out those email reminders once a week to my email list. And then also, two, I need to create a coupon code to give upon when someone fills out this email, right? So I'm going to do the coupon first. You need to go into Shopify. And from here, I just click exit to get back to the home page. And what we need to do here is go to the discounts tab. And what we need to do is create a discount code. So the discount code can be anything you want, and you can also just generate a code. But I'm going to do something easy to remember: Xmas mugs 15 or something like that. And I'm going to do that as a percentage and get a 15% off. And I can do specific products, all products, specific collections. So this is how you can do this for multiple sites. Like if you wanted to do single product sites for multiple products, you can make specific products or specific collections that are just going to appear on those individual sites and make coupons special to apply only to those items. You can set up requirements if anyone wants it, is eligible or not, and limit the number of times if you want, and if you want to send an end date. But I'm just going to save that discount code like that. And here's the code, right? So I'm going to just select that and copy it to my clipboard, go back, and I'm going to click on the form here. And you can see I've set up the form partially, but if you scroll down, it says on completion, it says display a message or redirect to an URL. And what I'm going to do here is say, thank you for subscribing. Use discount code paste and save on your Christmas mugs. And what I can do is make that bold by, remember, the star makes that bold. Remember that? And it says use variables if you want to. So you can, if you are confused about why I put those stars there, you can read about the variables and that will tell you why. And we can click done. And so now when someone hits subscribe, it's going to display thank you for subscribing, use this coupon, and then they can use it when they're checking out to buy the mug. Now the next step is to actually have this email form connect to something. So if we click on the form again, we go back to the top, there's a few different options we can have for a form. So we can have a contact form. So you can create the same type of thing that's a contact form and have it go to your email address. We're setting this up as a sign-up form to collect email subscribers. Now, the next below that is all the different ways you can collect the emails. These are all different apps. MailChimp is probably the most popular. So if you have a MailChimp, you can connect with that. I really like Email Octopus, and there's a link to Email Octopus in the description below. And you can sign up. It takes a few minutes to sign up. They have to approve your account, which I think is really cool to just verify that you're an actual real human, a real business that needs to use this. And the next thing that you need to do is once you've created your Email Octopus account, you'll have to verify your account and then they approve you. So once you're all set and approved, first thing you're going to want to do is go into your lists and create a list. I just created a test list, and you need to add a subscriber to that list. So I added myself to that list. That's pretty much the most basic way you can do this. Now you might want to, if you're actually making a website where you want to actually collect emails, you'll want to name this list something that makes sense for this website. If it was for my Christmas countdown mug, I might make it the Christmas countdown mug list, something that really specific. Okay. And then the next thing that you'll need to do is go into your account setting, You just click on your name and then you'll see integrations and API. So there are a lot of ways that you can integrate Email Octopus to. So you can see they already integrate with Shopify. If you do end up creating an actual online store with Shopify, you can integrate with them there, and Zapier, which will connect to thousands and thousands of apps. But what we're going to do for Card is we need an API key. Okay, so to do that, you click create, and that will take you I'm not going to click on it because it'll just show my API key. So you click create, and then there's another button that you click that says create key. You create key, then it creates this long number and letters. You copy that and you paste it in here. Okay, so that's where that API key goes. And then the list ID, that's going to be from the list we created. You can't do any of this until you create a list. So we go back to our lists. We go to the right of it. There's this little drop down menu, and we go to settings. And here's the ID, and we click copy, and we can paste that list ID in there. And once you're done with that, you just make sure everything's filled out how you want, click done, and now that's connected. So now we're automatically collecting emails. When they sign up, they're getting a message that has the coupon code, and that's the most basic level of this. From there, you can take the email list and create campaigns to send out emails. You can set up an auto respond email. So if someone signs up, the next day you can remind them about the mug and that there's so many days till Christmas or whatever you want to do. And you can send out those emails whenever you want. And there's lots of templates. I really like this app because it's very simple. There's only a few things to click on, and it's very easy to figure your way around. All right, so now we have our email box set up. We have our product on our page. We have a video on our background. I'm going to just publish it so I can see all the changes that I made. Okay, and refresh. So the background's a little darker, and there you go. So we have that looping video in the background, loads really quickly. Everything is here. Countdown clock is here. Email form will work. I can fill it out, for example. Subscribe. Oh, it's because I didn't set up with my API key. But if you test your own form, it should work fine, and you should see that message. If you have an error like that, like I just had, you're going to want to go in and make sure that your API key is set up properly and the list ID is set up properly. Okay. The last thing we need to do before we can say publish, well, okay, there's a couple more things. There's a couple settings in Shopify that you want to really make sure are filled out and done before you launch your store. Essentially, you want to make sure that your address, I put a fake address in here, is you need to make sure you have an actual business address. You need to make sure that your payments are filled out, connected to Stripe. You need to make sure that your shipping and delivery is filled out properly, like we already checked with Printful that filled out all that information. We're going to go through all these tabs and make sure all this stuff is filled out. For checkout, we want to make sure we go in there and customize the checkout so that when someone does purchase on our card website and goes, we customize it to look like our card page or a generic page that will be good for whatever they have in their cart. So you just click customize checkout and it'll take you to everything that you need to customize with our colors, our fonts. It's going to be very similar to what we've already done. The other thing that you want to fill out is your policies. You want to make sure that the policies are filled out. Now, the Shopify gives you a template, but you need to fill out the template so that it makes sense and has all the correct information for your business. You can also personalize some of these options in the settings in Shopify. So make sure you comb through all the settings available to you in Shopify and make sure everything is filled out perfectly that you need it. If you have a question, let me know. And then the other thing that we need to do is set up a domain. So I have I use Namecheap because it's just so easy to use, and domains are www.whatever.com or whatever it is. So you can feel free to use Namecheap if you want to. I'm going to walk you through how to set up your domain so that your .com or .whatever points to the website we just built on Card. Places that where you can buy domains, it will be similar, but it will be different. The reason why I like Namecheap is because this is the most simple. So if you follow the link in the description, it will take you to the to Namecheap, where you can search for domains and purchase a domain. You can also transfer a domain to Namecheap using their transfer to us feature if you want to transfer from someplace like GoDaddy or other places where it's a little more complicated to set up a website. But that's up to you. You don't have to do it. But I'm going to walk you through if you happen to have Namecheap. So this is the website I'm going to point to. It's etsy.creator. Don't ask me how I purchased this. It was surprisingly affordable. So I nabbed it up, and I'm going to just use it in this demo. So what we're going to do is go back to Card, to our website, and we're going to go back to the publish page. And we're going to go ahead and select publish to a custom domain. Now, it's important that when you decide to publish and finalize, that you do fill out the title, you fill out the description, you add an image, all these things, and make sure that they are optimized for SEO and also for your customers. So when they search and it happens to pop up, it entices them to click through. So publish to a custom domain. So here we go. This is where we're going to put etsy.creator. Okay, so that's the website. They're checking. It's available. Yes, I know that. And now we're going to add these records. Okay, so this may seem a little bit scary, but don't worry about it. All right, we're going to fix this. You're going to go into Namecheap. You're going to log in. You're going to go to your domain list. Click on the domain that you want to use. In this case, it's etsy.creator. And you're going to go over to the Advanced DNS tab. What we're going to do is add the records that card.co gave to us. So we have 2 A records and a C name record. Now don't freak out. This is easier than you think it is, okay? And this is why I love Namecheap, because it makes it so easy. So the first one is an A record. Host is @ symbol, and here's the target or value. So we highlight the target, copy, go to here, and then we go ahead and click add new record. A record, right? Host was at, and then we paste the target into the value and click save. Okay, perfect. And then we go ahead back to Card, and you can see there's another at record. So we copy that, add new record, A record, at symbol, paste it in, save changes. Okay. And then the last one is C name, the www, and then our etsy.creator. Okay. And we go ahead and do add new record. Scroll down to you see C name, www, and then the target. And save changes. Okay. So that's all we need to do. It should work now. So we go ahead and read the note here. It says allow an hour to initialize and for the SSL to take effect. So they already have security built in, which is fantastic. So we click publish again. Okay, and then we can go ahead back here, refresh, and see it's still working right now for us. So it may take, like it said, an hour or so to take effect. But I encourage you to check back. It won't take us probably as long as you think. Okay, I can't believe it. We made it all the way through this video. We made a really cool single page website with a product on it. And I want you to know that this is just like a guide. I want you to take the ideas we talked about today and really get inspired and come up with some unique idea to give your audience maybe some products that they might want, maybe t-shirts, maybe mugs, maybe tote bags. There's tons of ways that you can just give your audience some single product or a couple products and put it into a website that's really cool and dynamic and fun. and looks amazing on a mobile phone. You can add all your social links. You can add your products, your digital downloads, your freebies. You can add your YouTube videos on these pages. You can get really creative, and it's such a low barrier to entry because of the affordability of these sites. Now, if you are really struggling with this and you still watch this video and maybe watched it a couple times and there's something you really want to achieve that you can't figure out, you can't get it, leave a comment, ask your questions. I want to help any way I can. And if you want to check out some more templates that I've created, Whutsy, WHUTSY.com/card, and check out any of the latest templates. This is just one example. I'm sure I'll be making more for you to try out and test out this idea of a pop-up shop. I think it's such a fun way to brand specific products for holidays and drive traffic for those products for something specific that you don't want to necessarily clutter up your regular online store or clutter up your Etsy shop with holiday items and constantly changing banners and everything. I think this is a fantastic solution to just advertise for the holidays and promote on your social media for the holidays or other things. The ideas may be too much to even handle. So let me know what you're going to do with this in the comments. And thanks so much for tuning in. Give the channel a subscribe. Always appreciate it, and like the video if you found it helpful. Have a great day, and thanks so much.